If people wait for clarity, not everyone will have the opportunity to make change. Because I don't know that everyone is capable of removing all the static. If I had waited for clarity to make a shift to get my real estate license, I would have never done it. If I had truly given myself time to become so self-aware of what I should be doing, then I may never have taken that leap. It's about that whole take a risk.
As I alluded to a few minutes ago, like I will take a big, bold risk and sometimes not have a plan and then go, maybe you should have a little bit of a plan.
Right.
Okay, just a little bit. So I say that because I honor what you're saying and I believe in it wholeheartedly.
Welcome to the Success Resequencing Project. I'm Debbie Ponticus.
And I'm Jenn Newman.
Join us as we challenge the traditional definitions of success so you can build a fulfilling path of your own.
Get ready for inspired, candid conversations while gaining tools, inspiration, and confidence to create your own authentic success story.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Debbie.
So I have something that I think we should talk about that is probably something a lot of people could be interested in.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm here for it.
And I think a lot of people need to hear.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it's about time. We in our career or in our world, we always hear time is of the essence, right?
At least 65 times a week.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to take a look at this and say, you know what? I think it's about time to stop wasting time. Like, I feel like maybe it comes with wisdom. Maybe it comes if you've experienced a trauma. Maybe it comes right after you've lost someone that you love. Maybe it comes when you're in the really difficult relationship with a client and you feel like you're putting too much into it and it's not getting received well. So again, it's about understanding when to put a break on. And it's kind of it doesn't really make sense to say put a break on to stop wasting time. But I feel like, life is short. We all know this. And I feel like it's time for us to stop wasting time on things.
Like what?
So it can be stop wasting time on taking that next step, right? We talk a lot about your path as your own. We talk about resequencing your life to have a life of fulfillment.
Yeah.
So it could be that. Just stop wasting time. If that's something you've been talking about and that's something that you've been saying, I should do this, I should do that, I should change jobs, or I should get out of that relationship, or I should write a book, or I should, whatever it is, stop wasting time. Do it. Doesn't mean you finish it in a week. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a quick transition.
Right.
But it means stop putting yourself on hold. Stop putting your dreams on hold. What does that look like? So stop wasting time. And then the other side of stop wasting time is stop wasting time with relationships that are not bringing you fulfillment. And that's in business, that's in life, that's just in general, right? And I'm not meaning that you have to like internalize a relationship to where it's like a romantic relationship or anything. It's just anyone who's in your life who you have some interaction with, if they're draining you more than filling you, stop wasting time with that person. So that's kind of the two different things that I think about when I think of stop wasting time. And this is not a negative. It's by far more of a positive mindset shift for this year and for life. It's like, okay, we're not here forever. So let's make sure that we're doing things that bring us fulfillment, that make us happy, and, that really kind of move the needle and move the dial on us just kind of being able to breathe in and breathe out and enjoy the road and the path that we're on.
So I love this. I also love this pink chair. And I'm like shifting my weight 14 times in it. It's such a good chair. First things first. Yeah. Yes. Second, that really only can happen when you're self-aware.
Yeah.
The self-awareness piece is critical. If you don't know who you are, then that probably sounds really weird in theory, because you have to know who you are and you have to be very clear about what you want and how you're going to get there if you're going to make those kinds of bold moves.
Can I challenge you on that? If people wait for clarity, not everyone will have the opportunity to make change. Because I don't know that everyone is capable of removing all the static. If I had waited for clarity to make a shift to get my real estate license, I would have never done it. If I had truly given myself time to become so self-aware of what I should be doing, then I may never have taken that leap. It's about that whole take a risk. And I don't mean that you can't do that. But what I'm saying is if you keep having these thoughts, it was like Stuart Crawford said, that pilot light, right? If you there's something that keeps coming back.
But that is clarity.
But I don't know that you know it's clarity.
That's fine, but you know it's there. Okay. You're aware enough to know it's there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you wait till the stars align. To me, that's not clarity.
Okay.
Clarity doesn't mean in the absence of noise. Clarity means I know what I want. That could be as general as it gets. Right. I want to be X. Okay, great. That does not mean that you have a plan. That doesn't mean you have steps. That doesn't mean that you know anything. I knew I wanted a business. Okay, what is that business going to be? I'm going to go try real estate because I feel like that's important to me in this moment. I was so not clear other than I knew I wanted to have my own business. Right. I took the leap and I jumped.
Right.
There was so much risk involved. Right. I hadn't calculated all of that.
Yeah.
How could we don't know what we don't know?
Right.
So I don't. When I say self-awareness, when I say self-awareness, I mean, you got to know yourself.
Yeah.
You got to know. And that may be nothing more than just honoring intuition.
Right.
That is knowing thyself to say, I know that when I feel like something's got to shift, I need to follow that, even if I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
That to me is awareness. That awareness and clarity do not need to that doesn't mean spreadsheets, game plans, fact finding, research. I'm not saying that. I have made the leap on things before I knew anything.
Right. Right.
And made bold moves with sometimes in retrospect, I should have waited another minute. Like maybe think it through a little bit more.
I could have gone a little different.
It could have been a smoother path, but I still went for it.
Right.
So because I do believe wholeheartedly, we just don't know. Someone said something the other day that really stuck out. And she was in her 50s and she was saying something to the effect that if the average lifespan of a person is this, then I've got, at least I know I have about 25 good years left. Mm-hmm. And I sat and realized in that moment that 30 years have gone by like that.
Yeah.
And it just keeps moving faster.
Yeah.
If we all have this assumption that we're going to live that long.
Yeah.
Jim and I have always said we're living till at least 105, right? So it's like, okay, well, great. I have a good 57 years left. That's fantastic. But then we both know, and you know, that doesn't always play out that way. And we've had some life circumstances in the past few years that could change that trajectory of time because it could change it for anybody.
Yeah.
And so you have to honor the moment that you're in. You have to honor the season you're in today with the facts, the information that you know, and make the best decision you can and move.
Right.
Do not wait.
Yeah. And my thought on that is, and where I'm going with this is like, to your point, you know, I think it's human nature to live with a immortality mindset, because to live with a mortality mindset is a very uncomfortable place to be in. Meaning
I've spent the last 2 years doing it. You know this wholeheartedly.
Yes. So, but sometimes it takes those moments to rattle you, to be like, wow, we are not promised tomorrow.
Correct.
And it is almost disrespectful to yourself to not lean in when you are being pulled in a different direction.
That's right.
And that doesn't mean to not be smart about it.
Correct.
I'm not saying like everyone like, oh, I hate my job, I'm quitting. Okay, no, like have a plan, but you don't have to wait until the plan is
fully materialized.
Business plan, fully materialized.
Yes.
And maybe that plan, like I think we just try and grasp for, it's an excuse. Like, well, I'm not ready yet. It's fear, it's insecurity. It's
also a need for certainty.
Right.
So we try to build a plan so that we can feel certain about what the outcome is. And that defeats the whole purpose. Exactly.
And sometimes you just can't control it, and you need to lean in when you are being pulled in a direction or being pushed sometimes in a direction that it's like, okay, why am I waiting?
Yeah.
Like if this is something that's important to you, and that doesn't have to be a huge career change or a changing a relationship. It doesn't have to be that dramatic, but sometimes it is. But you should lean into your intuition. And I agree with you. It is about learning how to be self-aware. And I want that to stop being such a, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like when everyone says I'm trying to become more self-aware and I want to tune in to all
cliche.
of this. Yeah, cliche or like
woo-woo.
feely woo-woo, right? Like, right? Like it needs to be something that's like, no, I'm taking ownership of the time that I have here. And I'm not going to apologize.
No.
That doesn't mean I'm going to be disrespectful. That doesn't mean that I'm going to, get in other people's way, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop not putting myself first. And if you're in relationships, people should applaud that and step beside you and encourage you to do that. And you should be doing that for other people that are in your life that also you can sense that, you know what? You're not where you're supposed to be. We don't know how long we have. So what are you waiting for? Let's figure that out. Like just take that initial step to say, I want to make a change, and you will immediately feel your mojo, your energy, your inspiration change. Like you will stop focusing on the things that are keeping you from it, and you will start focusing on the things that will get you there.
I really wish that people had transcripts of our coaching that we've done for years together, because this is, as I'm sitting here receiving this from you, I think it's really important to say that you're saying those words from an authentic place, because I think that has been a challenge and you would love a plan. And so for you to say, stop wasting time and really honor the intuition and the spark and that feeling and act on it as intelligently as we can and as researched as we can. But that is a huge thing. So I hope that people can feel the magnitude of what you're saying, because I know the history and I know where that comes from, and I know what that means for you, because that's a big deal to lean into that. In as much as I alluded to a few minutes ago, like I will take a big, bold risk and sometimes not have a plan, and then go, maybe you should have a little bit of a plan.
Right.
Okay, just a little bit. So I say that because I honor what you're saying, and I believe in it wholeheartedly. I think the piece about not being morbid and focusing only on our mortality, I think we all need a dose of it. But I know from my own personal experience, from basically 2022 until really the middle of this past year, I was really focused on that due to some circumstances surrounding my family. And it became all about, oh my God, I don't have enough time. When you put everything through that lens, that can be a very slippery slope too, because you don't want to rush things when it's not their season.
Right.
Because there is a natural season to everything. And when we try to force then we can cause some frustration.
Yeah.
But that sense of urgency, we really do need to have that.
Yeah.
Because why are you waiting? If the people we've talked to have made bold decisions, big moves, changes in their lives, none of them have said, I wish I had not done it sooner.
Right. All of them said, I wish I did it sooner.
Exactly.
And
everybody says that.
All of them said they got the nudge sooner.
Correct. And it took them time.
Now, who's to say that if they had made changes sooner than later? I mean, I also believe that things happen for a reason.
Of course. And there's divine timing in everything.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is that if you are getting these pulls and pushes in life and you don't feel like you're settled, and by settled, I don't mean that as like, okay, I don't need to do anything with my life for myself. What I'm seeing is like, you don't feel like you're on the right path. You don't feel like you're where you're supposed to be. You're not feeling fulfilled in what you do. Then lean into the things that are pulling or pushing you in different directions and stop ignoring them.
Yeah, I think to me, that's the key. That's where the awareness comes in. If it's in you, it's yours to say. right? But I also believe that these are my words, I'm not advocating this is how everybody thinks about it, but from my vantage point, if God put it on your heart, it means you can do it.
Yeah.
You're not given those dreams for no reason. Okay. Like if there's something that you feel pulled to, led to, inspired by, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, honor the call.
Yeah.
Honor what that means. What is the expression? I'm going to fumble it, but something about God qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified, meaning he qualifies the called. So if you feel called to do something, then by golly, the tools are going to rise up to meet you. The skills, the plan, all those things are going to rise up, but you've got to take the first step.
Right.
And that's inspired action. You've just got to move. It's not going to happen sitting on your couch. It's not going to happen in prayer position going, just let it happen. Just let it fall on me. You got to get up.
Right.
You got to open the door.
Right. And shame on us for not fully understanding the gift we've been given with a day, the gift we've been given with time, right? So time is probably the most precious element that
I think it is.
Anyone can be gifted, and it's free. And we take it for granted daily. That's where I'm just like, I'm not perfect in this. I do it too. But where I have gotten the most energy is when I stop and realize that I can make a change and I can do something different with my life if I want to.
Yeah.
Or I can lean into something and I'm going to take that risk and I'm going to take that chance. And I don't know what it looks like, but I now know that there are people around me that can help. And I just need to voice that this is something that I want to do. And people will come out in droves with
when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Right. And so that's what I want listeners to take from this today is stop wasting time, because it has been given to you as a gift and you don't know when it'll run out. And I don't mean that in a morbid way. It just means live every day and look back on it and say, and appreciate the things that actually happened that fulfilled you. Not that every day is going to be great. Not every day is going to be perfect. I'm not trying to say we all live in a la-la land. But if you, to the core, feel energy about who you are and what you do and the people that you're with and who you're impacting and how you're impacting those people, then that is amazing and fulfilling. And it doesn't have to look like you think it might look. There are different ways that can come out to play, and that you can now have a path that means something,
Well, I think yes. I mean, we could, and we should continue to we should spend time talking about this in different episodes, because I also think that there is something about it's a slippery slope because we do need to honor the time and the gift of time, but we also sometimes need to slow down to speed up. And there is an act of slowing down enough to hear it, to listen, to tune in. If you don't have that practice built into your life, you really may miss the nudges. You have to be present enough within yourself to hear them and to sense them. Yeah. If you load the day with just busy work and activity so that you feel like you're doing something, that also can be a major waste of time.
Yes.
And so sometimes it does mean, like yesterday was a day for me where I needed to get clear on something because I was circling the drain with it. I wouldn't just slow down and focus on it. So I spun my wheels on the task for days and days and days because I was not actively saying, I'm going to sit down right now and actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to be mindful of that too.
Yeah.
Which is, if what you're doing, because not everything in life is fulfilling.
True.
It's just not. There's stuff in our human experience that is not fulfilling. Yeah. It's not pleasant. It's a challenge, and but we still have to do it.
Yeah.
And there's this other side to that coin is people who feel like unless they're in this bliss every minute of every day, then they need to cancel everything else out of their life.
Right.
I really do have a news flash.
Yeah.
Shit still happens.
Right.
Like it just does. And so you have to be intentional about what you are spending your time on, what you're electing to spend your time on.
It goes back to choice.
Totally goes back to choices.
Right. And that's where I'm coming from this is like, I know I get very passionate and I, and talk very high level with this, but I think ultimately what I want to do for myself, because a lot of these topics that we talk about are things that our listeners are going to really resonate with, but it's also things that you and I are going through too.
That's
we're
why
just
we're doing
normal
it.
people, right? We're just trying to say, listen, we're giving a voice.
We built a community for ourselves from the standpoint of this is what we felt was missing.
Right.
These
And
conversations.
Struggles you and I are currently having. Like we're normal people. Like this is, we don't have it all figured out. But what I think the themes and the things that we're listening to is like, the stop wasting time is one, if you feel like you want to make a change, then start leaning into that. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, from a daily component, is stop wasting time on the things that aren't moving the dial and aren't moving the needle and that are really not, that it's just the busy work. It's the fluff. It's the excuses that you're making or the things that you're doing to just feel like you've accomplished something, right? So stop wasting time. Stop wasting time with that client who is really just not a good fit for you.
Yep.
Be strong enough to say, this is taking too much from me and I need to move on. I need to stop wasting time on this. Yeah. Stop wasting time on internalizing things that don't need to be internalized, that are not personal. Okay, how much time have I wasted on personalizing something that doesn't need to be personal? And now I've taken that hour of worry out of my sleep at night, whatever. So just start leaning in. Start realizing that when you look at your wrist, for those of us who still wear watches, or your phone or whatever, and as we both look at our watch, just stop wasting time. It's so precious, and you can move mountains, and so much can be accomplished in your lifespan, no matter how long that is. Yeah. If you'll just move with the flow that you're intended to have, absolutely, and stop putting roadblocks in front of it,
and live in the season you're in. Yeah. Your season of spring, maybe somebody else's fall, and maybe somebody else's winter. That's okay. Yeah. You don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. You have to honor the season you're in. Yeah. And if it's go time, then go.
Right.
It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If it's your season to go plant.
Yeah.
But don't, and also don't try to harvest in your winter time. Don't try to harvest, right? It may not be that time for you. Right. If you're in tune with that, and you follow your nudges and follow your instincts, your intuition, you are going to move mountains because that is the path that's being cleared for you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's huge. So we're going to not waste any more time.
What time is it?
I got some things to do. No, I appreciate the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot more to continue to talk on that one. Yeah, more time.
Thanks for joining us. If you loved this episode and know of someone who would find value in it, please spread the word and share it with a friend. We are passionate about redefining success, and it would mean the world if you could help us get our mission out to as many people as possible. Please take a moment to write a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can also hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest episodes. Connect with us on Instagram at Success Resequencing Project or via our website at www.successresequencing.com. We'd love to hear your story.